Is your kid a great baseball player or just average? The truth is most amateur players are just average and they don't get to live out their dream of playing college baseball or pro baseball. So what you're about to watch is a two-step process that will lead to rapid improvement as opposed to some of the more common approaches used that lead to average improvement or maybe no improvement at all. Parents, no one's better positioned than you to help your kids improve faster by working smarter. So listen up. If you want your kid to look forward to crushing the fastball next time he comes up instead of dreading the inevitable strikeout, or if he has college or pro aspirations and he's topping out at upper 70s, lower 80s instead of 90 plus, or he's hitting in the 200s with no pop instead of hitting 450 with 10 home runs, then this video is for you. All right, let's talk about the why. Why step one? Why identify the most important skill, the one that's going to help you improve the fastest at pitching or hitting? Well, if you can go from 80 miles an hour to 85 miles an hour in 2 to 3 months, and by the way, it takes 2 to 3 months typically to perfect the skill, why not work on that skill instead of working on a skill that you may see no gains in velocity or maybe 1 mile per hour? So it just makes sense, right? Same thing with hitting. Why not go from a 250 hitter to a 350 hitter working on one skill versus randomly working on some other skill and you may not see any gain, or maybe you go from 250 to 260. All right. So now that you know the why, now you got to get to how. How are you going to identify that one skill? Well, you have 3 options. One, you can do it yourself. If you're going to do it yourself, we strongly recommend you go out to the free StrokeBall.com website that has hundreds of videos on hitting, pitching, coaching. It's sure to help you with that task if you're going to do it yourself. If instead you're like, no, I need help, well, there's a couple options there. Number one, you can find a coach in your area that's known and is good at identifying the number one skill to improve. So if you decide to go that route, click up here on the top left-hand corner. You'll see an eye. Click on that and a card will pop up on selecting the right coach. If you want to see our advice when it comes to picking a good coach for your kid, take a look at that video. The second option, if you want help, is you can use the StrokeBall Analysis service, hitting or pitching. And all you have to do is you film your kid with your phone, and then you upload the video, maybe 15 minutes of effort, and then within a few days we return a ton of valuable information to you, and most importantly we'll return back to you the number one skill that your player should work on to improve the fastest. So now you know what to work on. Now let's talk about practicing smarter to improve faster. So we've seen a lot of kids that, they come in and we say, well, what have you been working on? And he'll say, something like, keeping my elbow up when I get the toe touch. And unfortunately, when we look at the film, we see that he's not keeping his elbow up when he gets the toe touch. So there's 5 keys to practicing techniques that we use as StrokeBall that are sure to help your player improve faster by working smarter. Number 1, you want to make sure you focus on one skill at a time. A lot of guys will go and try to work on 3, 4 skills at a time. Typically, you learn nothing like that. So work on one skill at a time. It could be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months before you perfect it, but it's worth it. Number 2, make sure you start with simple drills and work up to more complex drills. So a simple drill might be dry swing type drill where there's no ball coming. A little more complex is maybe hitting off the tee with a ball, and then you get to side toss, front toss, and it really gets, the more challenging it gets, the ball's coming, those are the more complex drills. Don't start with the more complex drills. Start with something really simple where the player can focus on what he's doing and not worry so much about a ball coming at 80 miles an hour. Same thing with pitching. Number 3, make sure you film. So when you're doing a drill, for example, let's say you're striding and you want to make sure that when your toe touches, your elbow is up. Well, film the kid when he's doing his drills. You can use your camera, just film and play it back and say, yeah, you're good. Or if he's not, then you know you got some work to do. Number 4, make sure you don't get distracted. So many players start working on something for a week or 2 or 3. Next thing you know, they move on to something else, but they never perfected the skill. So make sure you continue to practice until you get to number 5, which is you have video evidence that the player is performing the skill correctly when he's in a real game-like situation. So for example, back to the elbow up. So a pitcher's pitching, and when he strides and comes a toe touch, if you see he's consistently got his elbow up, then he's corrected that skill and he's ready to move on to another skill. Those are the 5 techniques that if you follow, you're sure to get a lot out of your practices and show significant improvement. Now, one other thing, where do you find the drill? Simple to complex, right? If you go out to our hitting website, hitting drills or pitching drills, you'll see drills that typically go from simple to complex. It's progression drills. So you can find that for all the skills that we teach. If instead you already used our service and got your player analyzed with our hitting or pitching service, then already you have that information, because that's part of what we give you back is here's the skill you got to work on, and by the way, here are the drills in simple to complex order. Parents, if you want to fast forward and get your kids to the next level quicker, click on this card here to learn more about our StrokeBall hitting and pitching analysis service. So good luck. If you follow this two-step process, you'll see your kid's going to improve faster than most.